How you doing? This is Bob from Akana Odyssey, and today I want to give you some more pointers on palm reading. So, the last time I did a video on palm reading, I showed you about the mystic cross and the psychic crosses which are on your hand, which could indicate whether or not you might have been in a past life either connected to witchcraft or some kind of magic, maybe a mage or a wizard or something of this sort. I just want to refresh your memory first on that, and then we're going to go on. Between your headline and your heartline, if you have an X or a cross or something of that sort, that's called a mystic cross, and that a lot of times indicates something in your past life in the area of magic. Underneath the fingers here, you have to look for crosses as well. Depending on what finger the cross is under, would tell you whether or not you were blessed by that particular god or that particular planet. Now, some people have multiple crosses, which shows that they are blessed by the gods, different gods, and they're very fortunate for that. So, but today we're going to concentrate on the lifeline. Now, the lifeline is not how long you will live. There is some cases that maybe gives an indication, but basically it's the vitality in your life, how much energy you might have in your life. And it also tells whether or not you might have sicknesses in your life as well, and when they might occur. However, like anything else, things do change, and I'm just looking here for some of the drawings that I made for you guys. So, let's start with this. Now, don't worry about the island or even a break in this particular one. There we go. You see, this is your lifeline here. This happens to be a double one, but we're not going to pay attention to that just yet. We will, though. Now, the further out that lifeline goes, the better. It shows that you're a person that is an extrovert, you have a lot of energy, and you're really a go-getter. It definitely shows that. Now, the best lifeline, of course, to have is a clean swoop, right down. No breaks, no islands, no nothing on it. Not everybody has that, but that is the best one you can possibly have. Now, there are other things that indicate stuff on the lifeline. For instance, let's go with this since we picked it up already. Say that you're looking at your lifeline and you see an island like this here. Now, that right where that island is, probably in the 30s right here. Okay, and then it goes down to the rest of your life. Things up here are early in life, if it was in that area. Now, when you do have an island, that didn't indicate there would be some kind of accident in your life at a certain time. If it's a very small accident, a very small island, it would be something very minor. If it's a long island, it would be more time to heal and a bigger possibly accident or break or in your arms or whatever it might be. It'd be longer to recover. The bigger the one, the worse it might be. That can change, believe it or not. That can change because the more you take care of yourself and the healthier you are and the more cautious you are, you might not have that accident, even though it's indicating on your hand. And sometimes those islands clear up, believe it or not. So, keep that in mind. If you do see an island on your hand, don't panic. It's because there will be an accident sometime in your life. However, it can be avoided by taking care of yourself. Now, the next thing we would see, whether or not there was a break in that. Now, if there is a break in your lifeline, again, depending on where it is, would show that there might be a sickness that'll come up in your life sometime or another. It might be later on in life, or it might be early in life. If you have it, there will probably be some kind of sickness or, again, maybe some kind of accident which would disrupt the force, your life force. Not kill you, but disrupt your life force. Now, see, because the lifeline is an energy line. When it is broken, that means that the energy is interrupted, the life force is interrupted at that particular time. It's like electric circuit. In other words, if you were to run a wire down and there was a break in the wire, naturally it would separate. And you wouldn't be having proper connection between the two, the bottom and the top. It's basically the same thing in life. But, those lines there would break and then they'll come back underneath and keep going. Now, if it's spiders all the way down here, that's sort of at the end of life. The more spiders you have down this area on the lifeline, that shows your vitality slipping, going down. But at that time you will be pretty old. It's because it is at the bottom. Now, another thing on the lifeline is if it's a double lifeline. If you have a double lifeline, and not everybody does, it's more rare, that would show that you're a person with lots of vitality, really a lot of vitality. It would also show, even though you're a go-getter, that you're also a person that has difficulty making up their mind at times. So it would show that as well. Now, if you have a chained lifeline, I'm going to show you what that is. So here is a chain. See? It actually looks like little chains going down. Now, if you have a chain line that goes all the way down, or quite a distance, it also shows that your health is not that good in that time period. Your health is fragile, I should say. That again doesn't mean that you're falling over. It just means your health is less fragile than if you had a lifeline that was without chains. And the lower it is, the more age it is. If it's up in this area here, like I've had some customers that showed that when they were young, they maybe were a sickly child, or were very vulnerable to sickness at that particular time. And then it cleared up and it went down, things were good. So remember, if it's here, it's in early life. If it gets down like around here, it's in the 30s, and then, it goes down to the rest of your life. So if you do have that, you know that that is a person who has less energy, and that they can be sickly. Again, it doesn't mean that you have to be sick, but it means that your health is fragile and you are prone to possibly getting sick in some way or another. Another thing about a person with a double lifeline is, in spite of the fact that they are very energetic and that they can't always make up their mind, they do have an ability to get over things quicker, health-wise. They seem to be able to regenerate faster. I guess that's because of the vitality between the two lines, and they got that strength to do that. So, that is just a short thing about the lifeline on your hand. And I want to tell you, if you want a more in-depth reading, you can contact me through Facebook or YouTube. YouTube, I would appreciate you do leave some comments. And please subscribe. Not everybody does. It would be nice if you did. I could use more subscribers and more likes, of course. It would be magnificent. And remember, even though you're blessed by the gods, as we spoke here about the crosses on your fingers, and if you're saying, well, I'm supposed to be blessed by the gods, but I have terrible luck. This is going on, that's going on. You have to understand. See, being blessed is wonderful. It's magnificent. But you have to accept the blessing. And in return, you have to, number one, dedicate yourself to the gods. Dedicate yourself to have a better life, to be a better person. It's very important to be a better person. Now, all of us are capable of anger and revenge in a lot of times, but the point is, you have to, you could stew a little bit, and then you have to try to get over that and understand we are different. There are people that are just vicious, and we know that already. They're there. But obviously we do not want to be able to get stuck in their web. In other words, what happens is that, say somebody does something to you, and it's because they're a low-down dog or whatever. If we completely succumb to that, now we are under their control. Don't get me wrong. I understand that you'll be angry for a day or so, but that's fine. But you got to pull yourself from that. If you don't pull yourself out of the net, then you are now captured. And now you're under their control. You're the puppet and they're the master. So you have to get away with that. Get away from it, I should say. You cannot be so thin-skinned that you hold on to that. A problem today is people are very thin-skinned. You can't say anything to someone. You can't talk to them. Everything's an insult. You have to get by that. You have to raise above that. I tell you 100,000 times, I've told these people, I love monks. Monks are above that. I myself am a pagan. I am a pagan minister. And yes, I get angry like you do. But I find a way to get over it. Even when I get that pit in my stomach, which I'm so freaking angry because I've been wrong for no reason, I find a way to get over it. It might take me a day or so, but I do. You know how I do? I pray to the gods. I ask them to give me signs. I ask them to help me, to hold me in their arms so I can get over it. And you should do the same thing and understand. You have to forgive every situation. You don't have to hug the situation or the person ever again that is doing the wrong to you. But what you do have to do is forgive the situation because it's too heavy to carry on your soul. People will stoop to all kinds of stuff to find a way to hurt you. And they positively will. In every circumstance, I don't care who you are and what you are. You could be the nicest person in the world. You could be anybody. It doesn't mean anything. People are vicious a lot of times, but you cannot fall to their level. They're like a bunch of fishermen throwing a net in the water trying to pull fish in, and once the fish is in, what happens? It's dead. It has to be chopped up and eaten. And that's exactly what happens to us. We're chopped up and we're eaten. Our personality is gone because our personality is now under the control of someone who has evil intention, who is just nasty. Understand that. Understand, when I say that you have to love, that's not in a mushy way. You have to love yourself. You have to understand, unless somebody beats the hell out of you and you're bleeding, they have not hurt you. Understand that. And find a way to continue to go on even when you are wronged. And try to be a loyal friend if you can, as loyal as you possibly can, in every way, so you don't hurt one another. All right, that's enough of that sermon, but this is the things I like to get across. I like to get across the fact that we have to learn today in this world to care more about each other. The problem is we don't care when we step on somebody. That's horrible. It is horrible. We're stepping on somebody and it brings us joy. It's this bad. So, let's say from now on we're going to try to be a better person. We're going to try to love ourselves more. Love the gods. They are so important. If you don't believe in the gods, love the universe, but understand there is something there. Try to love. Try to understand. Now, you can contact me again at Redinger Flea Market. I am in Booth C. Or on Facebook, Akana Odyssey. It's A, not E, when I say Akana. I don't pronounce things perfect. I'm from Brooklyn. What can I tell you? But contact me. Leave some likes at least and subscribe. And definitely, positively leave me some comments. It would be magnificent. So, Namaste and blessed be to all, friends and enemies. I bless you all. Thank you.